YouTube, it's me again, Miss Candy Girl, and this is part 2 of the last video that I just did for my return to YouTube, is what I'm going to call it. So this is return to YouTube part 2. And to just giving you updates on what's going on with my hair and my locks and things like that. And so if you haven't watched part 1 yet, you definitely want to check that out, so I don't have to re-go over all that stuff again, because that video was already over 18 minutes long, and so I'm going to try to cut this one a little shorter. So anyway, about my locks, in continuation to the last video, I have been stating that I was going to, after my first year of being Sisterlocked, I was going to discontinue getting my hair retightened by my consultant and just try to DIY it myself. And so I actually, on my 10th month, which was probably 2, maybe 3 weeks ago now, I retightened my hair myself again for the second time. I DIY'd it, and so I was stating that I was going to come back and show you guys the tool that I used for retightening my hair. As I stated before, I had used this hairpin here for the majority of it. I hope you can see that. For the majority of doing all the back here and this side here, and also this side up here. But for the remaining section that was over on this side, I was at work doing it, and I used a paper clip, and I hope you can see that paper clip, and I just bent the paper clip. It was a small paper clip, and I just bent it and then just kind of twisted it around itself here on the end. And this is a lot smaller version than what Leslie Monique TV uses to interlock her hair, seeing as though obviously my locks are much smaller than hers. And on the last video, I didn't do like a real length check, and I was watching some of my older videos from when I first started my journey, and I had pulled out 2 locks from the front of my head, and to show how long my hair was at that time. And I believe that was my maybe second retightening video, I believe it was. And so, and then my hair at that time stopped right about here in the front. These exact 2 locks stopped right here, and now they're down here to my chin. So yep, it is definitely growing. And obviously the locks back here that I showed you before, which were really short, because I had that bald spot. If you remember from my previous videos, I had that bald spot, and from using my vajayjay solution, which, if you're not familiar with that, and I have a video about that has plenty of hits on it, and I've actually gotten a lot of comments and messages in regards to the vajayjay solution, and it works definitely. And this is just a testament to show how much it works, because if you are familiar with any of my previous videos showing the length of gosh, I'm trying to do this to where you guys can see. Okay, alright, where you can see how short my locks were before. They were much shorter than this, and now they are to about the palm of my hand. They're very springy because of the fact that, like I said, they haven't locked yet, and they're really loose curled. And so they're pretty long. They're pretty long. They're down all the way down here now. And so they're doing their thing. And I had actually, for a while, I stopped using that vajayjay solution because of the fact that it was just making my hair grow too much. And I know that that makes completely no sense for somebody that is wanting to have the growth, but when you have your hair locked and having to pay to have somebody retighten it for you, it's not the cheapest thing. And for a minute, for about, I want to say, a month and a half, almost 2 months, I had started going to, because of the fact that I do like to have my hair and my roots looking a little bit more maintained, I had been going to my consultant every 2 weeks instead of every 4 weeks. So just imagine how much money I was coming out of pocket for that. And then I was I was starting to have my financial difficulties and things like that, and so I had to definitely cut that out and just deal with the every 4 weeks again. So I'm back to every 4 weeks, except for this last retightening that I did myself because I just did not have the money. I didn't have the money. So, and then after that last experience about 2-3 weeks ago doing it myself, I was like, hey, after these next couple of months, to get through my 12-month period, my 12-month lock-iversary and my 1-year lock-iversary, I'm gonna just start doing it myself because it's just an added expense right now that I just can't afford. So, and you know, sometimes you have to cut things out and let things go, and I'm not letting my locks go. I know that. I'm not taking them down. I'm not cutting my hair off. I'm in it for the long haul, you know what I'm saying? And so I will just have to maintain myself with this little lovely tool here that I made, or twisting, which I mentioned in the part 1 of this video. So definitely check that out. And if I do decide to twist my hair, I will definitely have to, like I was stating before in the previous video, you see how thin, and this is a lot of locks right here. You see how thin these, you can tell by the ends how thin they are, but even in the shaft of the locks, they're really thin. And so even if I was to say I take those two that I showed you before for my length check, and I was to combine them and 2-strand twist them, because the ends of these are still, there's a bud on the end of one of them, but the ends of them are still for the most part loose. And then I would just interlock the root to make sure that it stayed together. Even if I was to go ahead and just combine these two, for example, you see the lock is still small. You know, that's a good size for me, you know what I'm saying? And even if it swells, it's not going to get real big, and so that I'm okay with that, you see what I'm saying? And then I could just twist my roots using my spray that I made of, it's water and oil mixture, and I've now included some lemon juice in it, some 100% real lemon juice that you just get from the grocery store. And because I also saw a YouTuber's video on here that actually she unintentionally experimented with lemon juice, and it actually held her roots together when she twisted. So I would just go ahead and try that and see how well that worked, and just let my hair dry, because like I was stating before, I don't want to have a lot of buildup in my hair. I don't use very many products at all, if any. If anything that I use, on occasion I'll use my water and oil mixture spritz on my scalp, which I hadn't even been using that, to be honest with you. The only thing I've really been using is shampoo. because I'm lazy, y'all. I'm sorry. I don't like to have to be doing a whole bunch of work on my head. I'm not one of the people that just loves to be doing my own hair. I don't mind doing other people's hair, you know, for the most part, depending upon, you know, I guess the person and their attitude about their hair, but that's a whole nother different story. But as far as it comes to my hair, for me to even do this twist out, this cornrow twist out thing, I didn't even feel like doing that. You know, I've just gotten to the point where I'm like, ooh, I don't like to halfway do nothing to my head. And luckily, by the grace of God, I haven't had as many scalp issues as I usually do, because I started using that Dr. Bronner's magic soap, the peppermint formula. I started using a diluted version of that in a spray water bottle with mostly water in it, and I just spray that in my scalp. And massage it in my scalp real good. I don't braid and band anymore, you know. I talked about that before in some previous videos, and I think I talked about that in previous. I ain't been on YouTube in so long, y'all, and I'm so sorry. I kept coming up with video concepts in my mind over the time frame that I haven't been on YouTube, that I'm thinking that I done talked about stuff that I made on videos that I may not even have made videos for, but I have made some videos, like maybe 1 or 2 videos of styles and things, and took plenty of pictures in the meantime that I just haven't uploaded because I haven't taken the time to do that. So I'm going to do that as well. But anyway, I'm not braiding and banding anymore. If I hadn't stated that before, I use that Dr. Bronner's magic soap peppermint formula, diluted version on my scalp. I spray it directly into my scalp and let it sit for about 5 minutes, massage it in there really good, and then I wash that out, rinse that out really good with water, and I still use the Sisterlock Getting Started shampoo on my ends. I do a good shampoo, lather it up real good on my actual locks, and let that sit on there for a few minutes, and then wash that out, and then that's it. And up until a couple days ago, because my regimen had been requiring for me to wash my hair every week, and I actually went over 2 weeks, I think, I'm pretty sure about it, over 2 weeks